It was a bustling Monday morning, the streets of Bangalore buzzing with the city's characteristic energy. I was caught in the midst of it, rushing towards my office, my mind preoccupied with the day's schedule. As I waited at a traffic signal, impatiently tapping my foot, I noticed him. A frail old man, clothed in tattered clothes, stood at the intersection, begging for alms. He wasn't like the other beggars who would aggressively plead for money. This man stood quietly, his eyes downcast, a sense of quiet dignity about him. In his hand, he held a small, worn-out bowl, hoping for a rupee or two from the passing cars. Something about his demeanor struck me, pulling me out of my self-absorbed bubble. Perhaps it was the way he stood, straight back despite his age, or the look of serene acceptance on his face. Whatever it was, I felt drawn to him, compelled to acknowledge his presence, to see him not just as a beggar, but as a fellow human being. As I looked around, I noticed that most people averted their gazes, choosing to ignore him. Their indifference bothered me. Was it so easy to dismiss another person's hardship? To act as if they were invisible? I decided to act on the impulse that urged me to reach out. I pulled out a 5-rupee coin from my purse and offered it to him. The old man looked up, his eyes meeting mine. A smile flickered across his weathered face, and he accepted the coin with a gentle, "God bless you, madam." But what he did next surprised me. Instead of pocketing the coin, he held it out to me again. "Madam, I am ever so grateful for your kindness, but I cannot accept this." Confused, I stammered, "But why not?" His reply was unexpected, humbling. "Madam," he said, his voice gentle but firm, "I am not a beggar because I am hungry. I beg because I am lost. Lost in the maze of my own life, seeking something I cannot find." He paused, his eyes reflecting a depth of wisdom I hadn't expected. "This coin," he continued, "will not help me find my way. It will only add to my burden." I was speechless. His words, simple yet profound, struck a chord deep within me. Here was a man facing immense hardship, yet refusing to be defined by it. He was not asking for pity, nor was he seeking material possessions. He was on a different quest altogether, a search for something far more valuable than money could ever buy. His words were a powerful reminder that true wealth lay not in material possessions, but in something far greater. The encounter left me shaken and deeply moved. The old man's words continued to echo in my ears, long after the traffic signal had turned green and I had driven away. I realized that in my rush to accumulate wealth and climb the corporate ladder, I had somehow lost sight of what truly mattered. I had been so focused on my own needs, my own desires, that I had become blind to the suffering and the wisdom that existed around me. The old man, despite having nothing, possessed a wealth that I, in all my material comfort, lacked. He had dignity, he had humility, and most importantly, he had an inner peace that transcended his circumstances. He had taught me that true wealth lay not in the abundance of possessions, but in the richness of the human spirit. It was in the kindness we showed to strangers, the empathy we felt for those less fortunate, and the humility to acknowledge that we still had much to learn from the world around us. The old man's words were a wake-up call, a reminder to look beyond the superficial and seek fulfillment in experiences that truly enrich the soul. I realized that true happiness stemmed not from what we owned, but from how we lived, how we treated others, and how we chose to view the world. That day, the beggar at the traffic signal became my unwitting guru. He shattered my preconceived notions about wealth and happiness, forcing me to confront my own values and priorities. I realized that I had been chasing after fleeting pleasures, seeking validation in material possessions, while neglecting the simple joys that life had to offer. The old man's contentment, despite his material poverty, opened my eyes to the possibility of finding joy and fulfillment in the most unexpected places. I began to pay more attention to the world around me, to appreciate the beauty in everyday moments, and to find joy in the simplest of things. A walk in the park, a conversation with a loved one, a good book. These were the things that truly mattered, the things that brought lasting happiness. I started to value experiences over possessions, choosing to invest in memories rather than material goods. I became more mindful of my spending habits, realizing that true wealth lay not in what I accumulated, but in how much I could give back. The encounter with the beggar was a turning point in my life. It wasn't just about giving alms. It was about receiving a priceless gift, the gift of perspective. I learned that true wealth resided not in bank accounts, but in the richness of human connection in the pursuit of knowledge, and in living a life filled with purpose and meaning. It was about recognizing the inherent dignity in every individual, regardless of their social standing or material possessions. It was about approaching life with a sense of humility, knowing that we always have something to learn from those around us. The old man's words continued to resonate with me, prompting me to reevaluate my priorities and to align my actions with my values. I became more involved in social work, finding immense satisfaction in contributing to the well-being of others. I started volunteering at a local NGO, working with underprivileged children, and realizing that true happiness lay in making a difference in the lives of others. The more I gave, the more I received in return, a sense of purpose, a feeling of contentment, and a deeper understanding of the interconnectedness of all beings. The beggar who refused my 5 rupees taught me more about true wealth than any financial advisor ever could. He showed me that happiness was not a destination, but a journey, and that it was often found in the most unexpected places. He taught me to look beyond the superficial and to appreciate the simple things that truly enriched life: love, compassion, gratitude, and a sense of purpose. His words became a guiding principle in my life, a constant reminder to seek joy in simplicity, to find contentment in the present moment, and to live each day with a grateful heart. And so, I continue to carry the beggar's lesson with me, a constant companion on my journey through life.